Okay, so let's discuss a few sections from homework 3. So we'll get started with section 1.13, deciding whether these are prepositions or adverbs. So we can see with 6, 7, 8, and 9 that these are all prepositions, and you can determine this because all of these are in prepositional phrase structures. Of his brain, after his accident, to the frontal lobe, from brain size. So remember when we discussed prepositions, we said that prepositions must be followed by a noun, and that noun is called the object of the preposition. So in each of these we have of his brain, so we have preposition plus the optional adjective plus the required object of the preposition. These are different than number 10, where we have women were expected to stay in and not get an education. So here, stay in. In is not followed by a noun phrase. In is followed by a conjunction. So here, this stay in is not a preposition because it is not in a prepositional phrase structure. So 1.14, you have the answers for those in your book. In 1.15, let's look at these on word classes. So here in 1.15, so we have human contact. Again, the essential adjective question of what kind. What kind of contact was it? It was human contact. No human language. This one may be a bit confusing, but you should substitute a word that you know is an adjective, has some human language, has the human language. We know the is always an adjective. It substitutes just fine in that position. Whereas, let's take an adverb, very or quickly. Has very language? Has quickly language? No, those substitutions do not work, while the adjective substitution does work. So in 7, what kind of children? Are they loud, noisy, happy, fun? No, they're feral. Evidence is a noun. Provide the evidence, so it passes the determiner test. Number 8, again, what kind of an example? It is an American example. And a, the, always adjectives. And number 9, not only but also. Those are correlating conjunctions. Any, again, any may be a bit confusing, but if you do some substitutions, making loud noises, making happy noises, okay, that an adjective substitution works. If we tried an adverb substitution, making quickly noises, the adverb substitution does not work, while the adjective substitution does. 10, since birth. Notice that since is a relationship of time. It is followed by the noun birth. So since must be a preposition. So since is a time preposition, such as after, before, during, since. Those are all prepositions here. And then birth is a noun. 11, during the day. Again, a preposition of time. Caged. Here we have the past marking. Remember, only verbs are marked in this way with the D. So caged must be a verb. So 12, we have about. So about is a preposition. Again, it's in the prepositional phrase structure, about language acquisition. So about is a preposition always. Socialization. What kind of processes were they? They were socialization processes. So here, socialization is helping us identify the type of noun, the type of processes. In 13, quickly. So how did Jeannie learn? She learned quickly. So remember that adverbs answer how something happens, how a verb happens. Here it happens quickly. But she never grasped. So grasped is the verb in this sentence, and never is an adverb of frequency. So never, sometimes, always, hardly ever, those are all adverbs. 14, received grants is the verb. Again, it's marked by the past tense D. Studies is a noun. Whose studies? Their studies. We could have one study, two studies. It also passes the determiner test. So to support the studies. So the test works here. Must be a noun. 15, the money. The, always an adjective. Wow, an interjection. Don't worry too much with interjections. We haven't discussed those. 1.16, I think I discussed some of these in the chapter review video. So I'll just look at 9 and 10 specifically. Of course, you can pause the video and check your answers. So in number 9, the, always an adjective. Left is telling us where or which side of the hemisphere, so which one, so adjective. Hemisphere is a noun. Of, the preposition. Our brain, so remembering that our, my, your, his, her, when those are followed by a noun, those are serving as adjectives. Brain is a noun. Controls, I control, you control, it controls. So there is agreement. Only verbs show agreement. The, always an adjective. Which side? The right side. So right is an adjective. Side is a noun. Of, always a preposition. Whose body? Our body, my body, your body, his body, her body. Adjective. And then body is a noun. We could have one body or two bodies. And number 10, both and, those go together as correlating conjunctions. Broca or Nikki are both nouns. Made is verb. So I make, you make, she makes. Here we have it in the past tense. So that must be a verb. Major discoveries. Again, if you weren't certain of major, substitute happy. You know that happy is always an adjective, so made happy discoveries. Sure, it sounds a little odd, but grammatically it works perfectly. Discoveries is a noun. About, preposition. The, always an adjective. And brain, one brain, two brains. So finally, section 1.17. The past participle of run is run. Yeah, that's true, right? Because run is the present. I ran is the past. But when we say I have run, she has run. So we use the past participle run. Adjectives can modify adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and nouns. No, that's not true. Adverbs don't modify nouns. Number 8, when a coordinating conjunction conjoins two sentences, a comma separates the two. Yeah, that's true. We'll talk a lot more about comma usage later. But yeah, so coordinating conjunctions conjoin two independent clauses. 9, every noun phrase must have a head noun. Absolutely. And then 10, the singular plural test helps you to identify adverbs. No helps us to identify nouns. So you do need to know some of these essential characteristics of the word classes. You should watch the Chapter 1 review video because yes, there will be a few questions concerning these essential characteristics.